Hey everyone, this is Mike Leonardi, and you are listening to the Warrior 2.0 podcast. In this episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my shirt. If you cannot, if you're listening to this just on the audio version, it is a T-shirt with Pumbaa and Timon, and it says Hakuna Matata, which is obviously referencing the movie The Lion King. Hands down, one of my favorite movies of all time for various reasons. But one of the things that I love about The Lion King that I want to talk about today are some of the themes that they talk about and they explore in the movie. Obviously, you've got a lot of this kind of coming of age with Simba after his father is killed and he runs away and he comes back to reclaim the throne, so to speak, of his kingdom. And what I think really resonates with me in all of this, and I think it's just a great reminder for some of us as well, is they say this in that great scene where Simba thinks he talks to, I forget the guy's name, Rafiki, and he says, "Your father's alive." And he's over there, and he goes in and he looks into the water and he starts to hear his father's voice and it appears as a cloud. And he talks about him, and one of the things he says as they finish up is, "Remember who you are." And I love that. I love that in so many ways. For one, remembering where you came from is important. And we talk about this in the Science of Happiness course a lot, is self-knowledge, knowing your story, knowing and remembering and understanding who you are, where you came from, your influences, for better or for worse, right? And really also digging down into your core nucleus as what do you identify as? Who are you? And in the case of the Lion King, it's Simba. He's the son of Mufasa. He is the rightful leader of his kingdom. He is the heir. And, there with that comes a ton of courage and just clarity on, especially when things get hard. And I think this is something that resonates with me, and hopefully other people do too. Because I think ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all fighters. You're a fighter, right? You're not a quitter. We don't quit things. We can't. We don't have that luxury, nor is it beneficial for us. So who are you? And I think we're all fighters at the end of the day. Some believe it more than others. And I think one of the things that I enjoy is being able to pull that out of people, because I believe in people and their ability to fight and their ability to take on things and have that courage in the face of fear. I know everyone's got that deep down. I think a lot of people, with all the things that we do, we sometimes question that. But the reality is you're a fighter. And one of the things that I love asking people, and we use this, and we're going to start to use this more in some of our marketing and other things, is starting with, what do you fight for? What do you fight for? Because we all fight for something, right? And really understanding, what are the skills I need in life to fight for the things that matter most to me? And that's a big part of what I've been diving into myself, and I think it's important that others is building up all the skills to manage that. Because with The Lion King and with Simba, he was afraid. He was afraid of facing his uncle, Scar, and he was afraid of really, truly moving into and understanding and embodying who he really was, right? But ultimately, he had fear. He ran away from his problems, and then obviously Timon and Pumbaa didn't help with that thing because they're like, "F it, man. We're gonna enjoy life and just eat and do nothing and never grow. We're just gonna sit around like schlubs and do that." And that was cool for a little bit, but the reality is, you're running away from the things that you need to face. And ultimately, Simba made the right call. He saw Nala. He connected with Rafiki. He was able to have that conversation with his father and have the courage to face his fears. And obviously in doing so was able to save his kingdom and do all these other things. That's really not different for us. It is, and I think it starts with remembering who you are. What is your core identity? And how do you identify yourself? And I truthfully feel that we're all fighters. We're all fighting for something in this world. And we got to remember that sometimes. And I know there are moments what we all have where we feel alone, we feel beaten, we feel knocked down, which we do. We get knocked down. But constantly reminding yourself who you are, and having friends around to help you, to remind you. Because if you're not believing it, it makes it really hard. But your friends do. That goes a really long way. So really, that's what I want to do. Is I just want an excuse to talk about The Lion King being one of the best movies of all time. The soundtrack, obviously, I'm a huge fan of. But the storytelling, the themes that are universal themes about family, about multi-generational, what we pass down to our children, how incredibly important that is, the lessons we want to teach our kids, the value of knowing who you are and facing your fears, having the courage to do those things. And I've talked about this in a more practical way before. So many people in this world don't get to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish and don't get to experience the things that they want to experience because they're afraid of failing. They're afraid to actually go forward. And fear is probably the biggest thing that holds most of us back from really experiencing the world and the life that we want to experience. And I'm here to reinforce that it's okay to have fears, because we all do, but we need to be able to understand of who we are, that we're capable of taking on these things and fighting these things and overcoming these things in order to go on the journey and experience the things that give us joy and happiness and success. And that's a tough thing to do. I get it, but it's a necessary thing. And not only that, when you do start to face those things and you do overcome them, now you start getting those wins, that confidence starts to build, and you believe in yourself more and more and more. And it's easier to face challenges in the future when you have that inherent confidence that you can do it. You're going to get your butt kicked, but you're going to come out on the other end a better person, a more confident person, a more resourceful person. That is probably the thing that I love most about jiu-jitsu, that has taught me, and I think that has taught so many other people, is creating these environments where you are overcoming your fears and these challenges and building this confidence over time, among many, many, many other things, obviously. But I think I've spoken enough for today. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, rest of the week, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.